Hi everyone, welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be reviewing this Anakin Starkiller, General McGregor, Obi-Wan Kenobi Revenge of the Sith hilt. This is a limited run, and when I say limited run, it is an extremely limited run. Anakin Starkiller, or on his website has been rebranded at Star's End. Anakin Starkiller is obviously very well known in the community. He's done really excellent quality lightsaber hilt runs in the past. He's very well known for the DS2 V2, which is Luke Skywalker's V2 Return of the Jedi hilt. He's recently done another Obi-Wan Kenobi from episode, I think, 1 or 2. He's done a few bits and pieces in the past like that, really all excellent, highly accurate. But this was a very limited run. He's only made 50 of these on May the 4th, 2023. And they went live, and I'm sure they sold out in minutes. And he has said, he's gone on record to say he will not be making these anymore. So that's it. I obviously missed out, but I was very lucky to find someone who had changed their mind shortly after they bought theirs, and he very kindly sold it to me. So let's just go ahead and talk about this interesting hilt. So again, Anakin Starkiller at Star's End. General McGregor is what he calls it, and this is Revenge of the Sith, Obi-Wan Kenobi. So why is this special? What makes this different to all the other ones? Well, the first thing is obviously I really wanted another Revenge of the Sith Obi-Wan Kenobi that has this dark brown color scheme. Obviously this one is the far more common one that everyone knows, is widely available. This particular one that I'm holding in my hand is a Roman Props Inception hilt. But this version is widely available from other vendors too. 89 Sabers does that. I think it's called OWK3. Lots and lots of vendors have done it. KR Sabers. It is relatively easy to get a hold of. So what's the difference? Why this brown neck? Well, this is a confusing area. There are apparently quite a few hero hilts for Obi-Wan in Revenge of the Sith. Some of them appear for 1 or 2 scenes only. It is a confusing area. I'm not going to talk too much about it because we'll be here all day, and believe me, there's even things that I don't fully understand. But basically, to keep it very short, all these hilts are based on something called the ILM hilt. This is a hilt that's available in the archives of Lucasfilm that everyone who's going to do a recasting can go and photograph. These the copper and brass neck, the classic copper and brass neck, is based on the MR, Master Replicas hilt, was the first one to model that hilt. So I think they took photographs of the ILM hilt, and it's a very idealized version of it. So it's not 100% accurate in terms of dimensions and things. And even the color scheme, I have seen photographs of the ILM. The color of the neck doesn't quite match this, but I think because MR made display hilts, they wanted a nice clean version, so they actually changed the color to a different hilt, which has only recently shown up on the prop store. So this is not entirely accurate to anything in the film, but the main belt hanger that Obi-Wan wears in the film looks very much like this one with this color scheme. The one with the brown neck, there's only 2 scenes confirmed to have appeared in. In both scenes, Obi-Wan force pulls the lightsaber towards him. One is on General Grievous' bridge and early on in the beginning of the film, and one is later on when he's fighting Anakin. Again, he force pulls it off the table, and that's the one that has the brown and dark brown neck. That version has also shown up on the prop store. as an auction. The other popular version of this is made by SP Sabers and is called the High Ground. So what makes Anakin's version slightly, in my opinion, I have talked to a lot of people and I said, well, which one is probably more accurate, the SP High Ground or this new Anakin Starkiller? And most people agree that the Anakin Starkiller is this slightly more accurate version. The reason is Anakin Starkiller has got original production parts. He had pommels and he had a control box, and he recast them to be exactly like them. Even with all the wonkiness and the irregularities, they're exactly like the original production parts. The rest of it he didn't have, so he just approximated as best as he could. So the dimensions are much more accurate to the archive hilt or the ILM hilt. The color scheme, for some reason, he chose to go with the brown neck again, but for the dimensions and the geometry, the shape and the size of everything, I guess since he had these parts, he thought, well, let's build up on that. So that's great. I mean, this is as close to accurate as we could possibly get. Let's start from the top. The emitter is made of aluminium, and it has the threaded rod. It also comes with a FX emitter, which is a bonus, obviously, because this can be installed, which I'll talk about later. What makes it stand out is that just the machining of the aluminium is absolutely gorgeous. And compared to like the MR hilt and everything that was recast around it is brass that's been plated in chrome, so it's much more shiny and heavy. But the hilt that's in with ILM, I guess, is made of aluminium. So there are tooling and machining marks all over it. And it has that dull finish. So that's very, very nice. Same thing for the pommel. This is the first pommel I've seen on an Obi-Wan hilt that's made of aluminium, and you can see here very clearly the machining and tooling marks between the cubes. Also, the angles are much more sharp. It's gorgeous. Absolutely love the pommel and the emitter. Compared to this one, which is chrome plated brass, again nice and shiny, just not as accurate because of the plating process. Some of the geometry is lost. You can see here it starts to sort of round up a bit. Much more sharp down here. The control blocks, Anakin has an actual control box from production, and it's actually made of resin. This is resin that's been plated in chrome, and you can see that here. That threw me off in the beginning when I didn't know too much about it. You can see that the reflection is all sort of wrinkly and irregular. That's because underneath it's resin, and it's been plated with chrome. You can see how irregular it looks. It doesn't look sharp and defined. I'll compare the other one in a minute. That's intentional. That is accurate. You can see how sharp and like idealized this one looks in comparison to the control box. Sort of a perfect symmetry to it, which is beautiful too. It's just not accurate. That's not the way the prop looked. Okay, because they made the control box out of resin, and they have it. That makes sense because in the movies they would have made some parts from plastic and resin just to make it lighter and more comfortable for the actors. It wasn't a full metal hilt. The rest of the parts that Anakin couldn't do or didn't have access to, he approximated. This is aluminium. Booster is also aluminium, anodized. Very nice finish. He's machined a Covertech clamp guard is made of brass. This can be removed, and then you can drill through and install switches. Greeble is made of copper. And this gear is nickel-plated steel, I believe he said it was. You can see here it's got a really nice finish compared to the gear on this one, which is a more shiny chrome. One of my favorite parts is obviously the wind vane and the neck. Beautiful paint job by Anakin himself. He's done every one of these 50 hilts, he's hand painted. He said it was a 3-step process or something, or 3 layers. So it's got almost like a glittery finish. And it looks very, very much like the prop store lot 689, I believe, the Force pull gag hilt. So it's like there are parts of it that are from one hilt, and parts of it are sort of based on, or the overall geometry is based on the ILM hilt, but the color scheme is from a different hilt. And the same could be said about this, but this is much more idealized, and this is way more accurate. Yeah, absolutely stunning. In terms of sound venting, I'm not going to show it now, but this can all be unscrewed. I'll show it really quickly. So you can see here there's a little nut there that's held on by the. So if you just loosen the cover tech, if you take that off, take the nut off, you can see that there's a sound vent, like a hidden cutout within the booster there, and you just twist this around, and then it's a hidden sound venting right between the booster and the pommel. So it's gorgeous. So you don't sacrifice on accuracy or looks, but at the same time you get sound venting. So that is really impressive that he was able to do that. Yeah, that's it. These are hot glued. What I like less about the Saber, or what I'm sort of less, or it's taking me a little while to get used to, I suppose. One is how light it is, and you know, that's both a plus and a minus, I guess. I mean, I'm just not used. It feels really light in the hand, and that's because of obviously so much of it is. I mean, this is resin. This is chrome plated aluminium. So much of it is aluminium. Aluminium is a lightweight metal. It's not like, you know, brass and nickel and all of that. That's been. I mean, this just feels so much lighter than that one. And both of these are empty. Neither of them is installed. This is a lot lighter. There's also a little bit of a play in the pommel. You don't feel it, but it's definitely, and that's because of, maybe if I tighten the cover tech a bit more, it might go, but there is a tiny bit of play in that. The clamp card is my least favorite, I have to say. I'm sorry, but in certain, like in a certain angle, you can see the etching, but then you go another way, and it's almost like it's faded. It's not there at all. It's almost like it's not been painted. So that is just a detail that bugs me a bit, because this clamp card looks way better. And this came with the Romans. I mean, this is a stock one. It's not even a sloth furnace. I don't know. I've been told it will age naturally over time. I've been told to try to paint it. I've been told different things, but I mean, I'll try to mess with it, but if it doesn't work, I might just end up getting a sloth furnace and replacing it. But yeah, not terribly happy about the clamp card. It's probably my biggest criticism of this hilt. Otherwise, I really can't fault this. This is terrific. I mean, we've got accuracy of actual dimensions from the island prop. We've got parts that have been cast from production parts. I mean, it doesn't get any more accurate than that. And you know, it's a beautiful color scheme here for the neck that I've always wanted. And I was going to go for the high ground, but I couldn't find any. And then I had heard about this. I researched it a bit and was told it was even more accurate than the high ground. So I was like, yeah, let's do it. It's just, there was 50 and they sold out in a day. So, you know, it was kind of, well, how do I get my hands on one? So I made a post and just appealed to people. I said, please, if anyone has one for sale that they don't want. And luckily I did find one. So fantastic. Yeah, so sorry I rambled on a bit because it is a this prop is confusing. There's so many versions out there, you know, none of them are like 100% screen accurate to any. So it can get a little, you know, we talk about these hilts all night, but I just wanted to quickly just do a video showcasing this because there probably won't be very many video reviews of this on YouTube, I don't imagine, because if there's only 50 of them. But hopefully you've enjoyed the video, and as always, feel free to leave comments and questions. I'll do my best to get back to all of you. Thanks for watching, and may the force be with you.